rape the brother, they rape the sister, they rape the auntie, they rape the auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm, and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. It come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on Saieed. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Dance! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, it's something I always Saieed Ali. Our program, like I said, currently holds the #1 position of current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. I always tell you that. Now, we go live on STVREALTALK Network from Monday to Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and the next day there's a rerun from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Now, viewers, we are also on Facebook and YouTube. Our Facebook account, Real Talk with Saieed Ali, viewers, like it, search it, like it, share it. I always encourage you to do that on our social media platform. On YouTube, it's TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you will know when we go live. So viewers, share us on Facebook, share us on YouTube. Let friends and family know about Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Still stands at the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. We also extend the opportunity for you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to open a Real Talk credit account, Real Talk Credit Union information. Contact our office. Our numbers is on screen presently. Contact our office, viewers. Real Talk Credit Union information. Set up an appointment to open an account for you and your children. Now, Real Talk is also giving you 4% on a fixed deposit. Now, I often say this. You have 100,000 put on a bank. That is on a fixed deposit for 1.5%. 1.5% on 100,000, it's 1,500. We at Real Talk, we are offering you 4%. That is $4,000 on the same $100,000 that you have put down in a bank, getting 1.5%. So which is more to you? 1,500 on 100,000 or 4,000 on 100,000? Like I said, I come to lead. I didn't come to follow. I come to lead. At Real Talk, the interest, it is way past in any financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago. Always remember that, viewers. Let me tell you something. I do business local, regional, and international. Yesterday, a guy came and he said, Saeed, when he went to take out his money, he said, Saeed, the bank asked me what I'm going to do with it. He said, well, I'm going to buy Saeed. You know the bank tell him? The teller tell him, well, you're going to lose your money there, you know. Here, the man, what are you doing for me? What are you doing for me over the years I have been banking with all you? That man they call Saeed have done a lot for Trinidad and Tobago. You have done absolutely nothing for me. That is what he told them. 30-something years he banking with them. And he never crossed 2%. Never in 30-something years. What we are offering you, let me tell you something, is something to make money. I myself have been funding Real Talk with Saieed Ali on Synergy Network for 5 years by myself. 5 years. Without asking for help. And that is a blessing by itself. So, at the end of the day, some would like you and some would not like you. But at the end of the day, I am still Saieed Ali. And I am still standing by the grace of God. So remember, viewers, Real Talk, it's 4%. You can't miss it. Grab the opportunity while it lasts. So, packed program for you tonight, and we're starting off with the Education Ministry. Now, Education Minister Dr. Nyan Gasby-Dolly have launched an investigation into allegations of bullying at the Mayaro Government Primary School. This follows complaints from parents that younger children are being bullied for money, and school officials are allegedly turning a blind eye. So while they're turning a blind eye on that, this afternoon in Tabland High School there was a little fight. Yes. I tell her his get information, you know. So while the schools and the principal trying to hush, 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 you hear Mayaro? The official are allegedly turning a blind eye. But you know if these teachers and them, or the officials as they say, you know if them try and get bullied in school, they're going to want to write the ministry, they're going to want to dismiss, they're going to want to send away, they're going to want to suspend one time. But somebody else sure and getting bullied, they're going to turn a blind eye. Them is the one so, let me tell you something, them is the one so you just find all about the place. You're in position, you're in authority. An incident happened in your school, deal with it. Don't turn a blind eye, you are children. Supposing now somebody turn a blind eye on your child now, what you going to say? What you going to say? You ain't going to like it? First thing you going to say, oh, so much all here, nobody has seen nothing? No, and you had the opportunity to fix a problem and you turn a blind eye? So what, how does call it karma? When karma hits you, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say the police said do their work. There was an incident in Tableland High School. Yes. But nevertheless, Monday and Tuesday, who you think dealing with it? I, Saieed dealing with it. The latest incident occurred on May 9th when a standard 1 boy was kicked by a standard 2 pupil. That same day, a first-year pupil was injured when another child knocked him off a chair, causing him to fall backward and hit his head. The parents have lodged reports at the Mayaro police station, and the younger child is expected to undergo an ultrasound on Monday. The parents called for action and complained that school officials do not do enough to protect the younger pupil, and she added that multiple incidents have occurred involving her son as the older children bully younger children. Ones and those in charge do nothing. So the officials at the Mayaro school, all they have children, all they what these things happen to them, and all they go write the ministry, all they go get them suspended, all they go get them transferred. So why not do it for somebody else's children? Why not do it for somebody else's child? Let me use that too. I'll talk now, but tonight I'll again stink up. All I want to cover it up, cover it up. That is why I keep saying a good few times, principal needs to set examples in the schools. They need to set examples in the schools. And until it happens to a teacher's son or a daughter, or a principal's son or a daughter, all you wouldn't know what it is like. All you would not. But God forbid it happen to all your children. Because you know what? All you might want to meet, all you might want to meet Gatsby Dolly herself to transfer a student. That is how all it is. You know how shameful it is to hear the officials turning a blind eye on bullying and taking place? So let me say this on TV now. It should happen to all your children. It should happen to your son or your daughter. And then you will know how hot the water is for other parents. I telling all you that on national television. However, Education Minister Dr. Nyan Gatsby Dolly stated that she has sent a team to investigate, and officials visited the school on Wednesday and took statements. We go follow up on it. We go follow up on it. So if the parents of the child who were bullied at Mayaro, if you want to contact Saieed, is not a problem. 339-1670 is my number. Or call my office, 238-6716. Let us hear what took place. How the incidents unravel at the schools. What tactics are the older one using to bully the younger one? let us expose it. Because for too long, bullying and robbing children and weapons in schools, and the principals tend to cover it up, the teachers tend to cover it up. Like I said, until it happened to all your children, all you wouldn't know how hot the pot of water is. All you wouldn't know. It's sad. It's stinking sad to hear parents say now it's going on in the schools and officials turning a blind eye. Caller, good night.
Night, this is the imitation vaccine.
Talk to me, my friend.
You see, the Minister of Education, she has failed us. And I think she wants to normalize bullying in school. Because her boss, you know what they said about her boss? Remember what Patrick Manning said about him? He was a raging bully. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And if he bullies, then it stands to reason they care about it and they will normalize it just like crime. Now, another issue I want to talk about, and it's frightening aside. You know why it's frightening? You know, an independent senator had WhatsApp communication with the appeal court judges. You remember that issue? You remember the president did nothing about it? You remember the chief justice did nothing about it? Fast forward now, it come back to haunt us.
Correct.
Look what happened with this Privy Council judgment.
Yes.
All right?
It turned around on them.
AG, he was bigging up the court of appeal judges, you know. They made a ruling that the Privy Council dismissed, you know. They set it aside. Yeah. And I find it strange how he pontificating on their ruling when the Privy Council licked them up. So I wanted to know
SS go come out just now, you know.
If he has the WhatsApp number of certain judges because they never resolved the issue. And more importantly, why they're trying to say they win. 3 is greater than out of 5. 3 is the majority. And I'm not too sure if the Privy Council judges passed on the WhatsApp number to them and they didn't get it. So the other issue I want to say now, this judgment and the way our AG is carrying on reminds me of what happened in Guyana with the election petition when a senior counsel there couldn't understand that 33 is the majority of 65 and they took it to the CCJ and the CCJ ruled it. So remember, Chief Justice, I see down in Guyana, say he couldn't calculate, he didn't know about arithmetic, that 33 is more than, is the majority 65. The other issue I want to talk about, if the election petition appeal in 2059 and 2015 the UNC brought, and it was resolved in Trinidad, where the Chief Justice said, hey, the EBC wrong, but the election had to stay as it is. I wonder what would have happened if we took that to the Privy Council. If the ruling would have been the same, or if we'd have got different outcome.
You'd have got different ruling. Thank you, my friend. So viewers hear this, eh? All I would love this topic. Criminologist wants Commissioner of Police Earl Hayward Christopher to explain what went wrong in her crime plan, her anti-crime plan, and why she was unable to meet her 3-month target to reduce serious crime. Criminologist wants the commissioner to explain. Now, former head of Police Service Commissioner Professor Ramesh Devsaran stated that the most charitable conclusions is that the police service performance and plan seems to be a very, very slow work in progress. He added that while Commissioner has honestly provided some performance, indicates a well-intentioned plan has collapsed, and she should tell the public why and what is wrong in the police service. Meanwhile, criminologist Darius also believes that Hayward Christopher anti-crime plan are geared towards the dynamics of the crime climate, but said time is needed. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. While civilians are crying out, there is no such thing as time needed. There is something that they call a rapid response towards crime. Not time is needed. While people spend $100,000 to furnish their home invasion, and they go on with everything. So what time do you need now? Time for me to go back to a furniture place, to buy back everything, to come back and pay our next monthly installment, when I already pay a monthly installment for the things I take out from a furniture store? What time is needed? What time is needed? Or is it time is needed when bandits go into family homes and kill them one by one? More time is needed for the bandit or for the police? Which one? Is a rapid response needed? Or more time is needed for criminals to run into more houses? So which one need more time? He stated that one cannot expect the following or the flowing, the rivers of blood in 2022, which goes back to 2017, to walk into the job and in a matter of months change the landscape of the ground. Gary Gifford did it. What are you talking about? Gary had 3 years. 3 years. And he started to work one time. What are you talking about? So while we have a 60-year-old commissioner who's taking she time, but wait here, and you was a police officer before they choose you? And you know about crime, and you know about law, and you know about lockup? So what time you need? Nothing ain't changed. They just give you a new title. From sergeant to inspector, anything changed? No, you're just going up. But crime remain the same. Look, Dr. Rowley got a doctorate. And he business going on as normal in Trinidad. What made a difference? He got a certificate, doctorate. Does that change anything? It changes thinking into business. But then crime still going on. This is just one more paper in his suitcase. So while this criminologist telling Trinidad and Tobago that the Commissioner of Police needs more time, what she was doing before they select her? What was she doing? Not police work? And she would have to be in a damn high-ranking position for them to select her as the commissioner. So all that time, well, your memory was blank? As you become the commissioner, your eye open? No, your damn eye was open before. You was watching before. You just have a next step on your shoulder, and that is it. So when they talk about need more time and time and time, some of those criminologists, you better than leave Trinidad and go their way, you know. I'm telling you who vex laws. They themselves could be vexed. But you know what? When bandits run in their house, whatever, oh, Commissioner of Police, you are doing nothing. That's the only time they said they make a noise. The only time. Well, let me tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago is a hellhole right now. So we are going for a short commercial break, viewers. But when we come back, senior officers want more mobile posts. After this.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Real Talk Credit Union information stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Real Talk Group of Companies building at number 14 Carney Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also stay connected with us via Facebook.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, we are urging you to grab the 4% at Real Talk on a fixed deposit. So here it is. Senior police officers in the Central Division have stated more mobile police posts will greatly assist in curbing crime. Senior Superintendent Ramjohn filed a question from Freeport residents at a police town meeting at the Tree Road Community Center on Wednesday, stated that officers manning mobile posts would be able to use data to get criminals out of troubled area. So according to Superintendent Ramjohn, more police posts in communities. Ramjohn said there was a 22% reduction in crime, but the target is 23, and Central Trinidad is expanding, but the physical infrastructure at the existing police station are limited in service those rapidly expanding communities. He said they needed to get rid of the criminal, close down the drug block, and help the youths and the elderly so they can enjoy their rights. Well said. Well said. The drug block needs to close down. Ramjohn also advised residents to apply for firearm user's license and announce plan for a justice clinic to advise them on the extent to which they can go legally when defending their homes and property. Let me tell you something. I love this superintendent. I love this superintendent. He was saying this at a town meeting in Freeport. Central Carney MP Arnold Ram stated that the higher visibility of police is needed as he has been getting complaints from residents about their mistrust of the police. He also claimed that persons are threatened like criminals at police station, and he also appealed to police to get serious about dealing with noise pollution in the community. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saieed. Concerning this Privy Council ruling, sir. What is amazing, what about if this thing had not reached the Privy Council? Faris and the current AG, said the High Court and the Appeal Court validate them, they don't do nothing wrong. And then you see a blatant slap in the face by the Privy Council that they was wrong to do such thing. When we had the general election, sir, if we had election issues before the High Court and Court of Appeal as well, but election petitions cannot go to the Privy Council.
Correct.
So it makes one wonder whether, you know, how much illegal action by this government have been perpetrated against its citizens. It is only, you see, the Privy Council is our last bastion of hope, sir. And I hope the citizens should strongly, you know, stand up for the preservation of this Privy Council. You know, had it be for the Privy Council, look at the kind of atrocity that would have been done on the throat of citizens, sir. Now, look at something. You know, there's a justification when this guy, Hines, talk about the criminals have perpetrated the judiciary. I don't know, sir, but I'm asking, is it, you know, it could possibly well mean the criminals are the government and they are the ones, because with this kind of rule, I wonder how much such rulings that was made by this, you know, this judiciary. I'm not casting no blame on the judiciary, sir, but the political interference, the perceived political interference for those cases that have not reached the Privy Council. You see, they have a way, you know, look at Doctor, you know, have been, you know, suspended for a week for making racist comments. But so look at what the government is doing, you know, what they are doing. People who talk what is, you know, when people talk facts like that, Pandit will talk about the invasion by, you know, Africans on Indians. That is a fact, sir. That is a fact. That is not a racist statement. That is a fact. That is a statement of fact. What about when the government, the other day, they're giving out house grants in all the PNM constituency, and whereas people in St. Helena, in Bamboo, and all those places that got flood and damage, up to today they have not received a cent. Isn't that racist? Isn't that racist, sir? So it seems as if when you do racist things, it's all right, but don't talk no racist stuff. You know, this is the nonsense that has been going. I cannot wait. What I find this government should do 2 elections, not local alone, but do local and general elections that will get them out of this place. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So if you are staying on that topic, on Thursday, the Privy Council struck down a move by the government to extend the term of local government representative by a year. Delivering a ruling at the United Kingdom Supreme Court in London, the Privy Council upheld an appeal over the dismissal of a lawsuit alleging the move was unlawful, brought by political activist Ravi Balgobin Maharaj. In a majority decision, 3 law lords, led by UK Supreme President Lord Robert Reid, ruled that the High Court Judge Jacqueline Wilson and the Court of Appeal got it wrong when they dismissed Maharaj's case. 2 law lords agreed with the local court's reasoning and provide a judgment. The outcome effectively means local government elections now have to be called. Those in the majority rule that change in the term of representative as contained in the miscellaneous provision mean Local Government Reform Act, which was passed by Parliament without the support. You hear this? Which was passed by Parliament without the support of the opposition last year, could not apply to representative elected for a 3-year term in 2019. They said the Parliament should have used clear and understanding language to indicate if that was its intent, but it did not do so. And he and his 2 colleagues also rejected the government's suggestion that the change was a minor one. To start with, you make a change, number 1. Number 2, you didn't get the support of the opposition, but you want to do as you wish. So in the courts, the law lords in London realized, well, hear this now, you want to rule. You want to play a dapper. You want to play a big boy. You want to play a kingpin. Do what you want. No, the law lords and them struck you down. You're doing foolishness. You would nothing. So in that case, here what? We make a ruling, we turn down that. And I did end that day. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, you're going to hear AG claim victory in Privy Council local government ruling after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtor Credit Union information stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtor Group of Companies building at number 14 Crony Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also stay connected with us via Facebook. Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Real Talk viewers, so here the Attorney General Regional Armour is claiming victory following a Privy Council ruling that Parliament was wrong for extending the term of incumbent local government councillor and alderman. Armour referred to the Privy Council minority report of 2 judges against the majority ruling of 3 and the overturned courts of appeal ruling to support his statement. The Privy Council upheld UNC activist Ravi Balgobin Maraj legal challenge against the government extension of the term of incumbent local government representative by a year. The AG, however, said all of the judges had rejected the argument that there had been a breach in the constitution by the alderman to increase the term of 3 years to 4 years. Nevertheless, he stated that this government accepts this ruling of the majority of the board, which disagreed with the unanimous courts of appeal ruling referred to in its interpretation of an amendment. He added that it was worth emphasizing that the Privy Council said the government was not seeking to disenfranchise the rights of citizens to vote representatives into office. Listen to this and you would love it.
Nevertheless, as a responsible government, this government accepts this ruling of the majority of the board, which disagreed with the unanimous Court of Appeal decision and referred to its interpretation of the amendments as applying as it did to the incumbents. It bears emphasis that nothing in the way of these amendments and nothing in the decision of the Privy Council can support any argument that this government, by these amendments, was seeking to disenfranchise the rights of the citizens of this country to vote their elected representatives into office.
Whether local government election will be called, due to the ruling, Amos said he had the decision under active consideration and would give advice to the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. He noted that the decision of when an election is to be called will be up to the PM AG.
I have the decision under active consideration. I am consulting with learned senior counsel from whom I am taking advice. The decision was handed down, I think, about 3 hours ago, and I am giving consideration to it for the advice that I will give to the Cabinet. The decision ultimately as to when an election is to be called will be for the Prime Minister.
So it have one or two videos that I need you all to listen concerning this. Armour was also asked whether the decision of the Court of Appeal was still relevant, given that the Privy Council was the highest court in the land. Listen to what he has to say.
The decisions of the Court of Appeal are not irrelevant. And the reason why I have returned to them and I have pointedly referred to them is for the reason that, and when one looks at the judgment, when you read the judgment of the Privy Council has been very careful to expressly refer to passages out of the Court of Appeal judgment and to applaud those passages. The remarks of the judges of the Court of Appeal are not irrelevant. It is relevant to the extent that their remarks are part of what is referred to in the reasoning process of the Privy Council, and I would respect the fact that to that extent the remarks of the Court of Appeal, which half of the decision of the Privy Council has agreed with, that is to say, the Court of Appeal rejected the violation claim of the constitutionality of the amendments, and that has been endorsed by the Privy Council, and to that extent the government has won on that point.
They won, They won. Now here it is. Ask what happens to the regional bodies if monies would be paid to them, and if the aldermen and councillors would continue to be paid. The AG stated that the judgment is respected by the government, which is law-abiding and would continue to act responsible as it gets advice on what it does next. So the questions still remain. Are you all going to pay them or not? Listen to this.
The judgment is under consideration for its true meaning and purpose. The judgment is respected by the government, and this government is a law-abiding government. I expect the government will continue to act responsibly while it gets advice as to the meaning of the judgment as to what it does next.
They still don't say anything, you know. It's two things. It's yes or no. It's yes or no. It's yes, they will get paid. We understand the ruling. No, they will not get paid. We understand the ruling. So here it is now. MP for Shogunas East, Vandana Mohit, have stated that the Privy Council must remain as a final court within our judicial system. After the victory for the United National Congress, UNC, in its quest to ensure that local government elections were held. In a release, MP stated that despite losing at both High and Appeal Court of Trinidad and Tobago, UNC activists piloted their continued challenge at the Privy Council in defense of all citizens' rights to vote. The judgment delivered stands in solidarity with the population's rights to vote in the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. as for the immediate election of the local government representative. Well said, well said. Now, the release added that such a denial for obscure political reason by the government must always be defended by right-thinking persons, and that the judgment must compel the government to resign immediately. Mohit also called on the media, the Law Association, civil society, and all right-thinking citizens to speak out against the dictatorial regime as manifested in the Privy Council ruling. Wow. There is something. Trinidad and Tobago. Rules must be rules when governing the country. You cannot bend rules to suit yourself while governing a country. Some of them feel that being an MP or being a minister gave them the rights to turn and twist as they see fit to please them. Keep in mind that you are being watched by TTPS officers. You are being watched by lawyers. Keep this in mind. When you twist and you bend, you will get caught. Remember that. But in society today, it's all about who have the power and who do not have the power. That is where society has us today. There are people who could make Trinidad and Tobago so safe and so wonderful and so entertaining and so nice to reside here in Trinidad and Tobago. But you know what? They choose to stand by and let everything go as it's going, as long as it do not hamper them. Imagine that, eh? As long as bandits don't come into your property, you're safe. As long as nothing happens to your children, you're safe. Well, then why did you pick up this portfolio if you know you cannot deal with situations and circumstances that would arise? Why? National Transformation Alliance, NTA, political leader Gary Griffith welcomed Thursday Privy Council decision against the government. Extension of the terms of incumbent local government representative by a year without going to the electoral. Caller, good night.
Caller?
Hello, you're live on Real Talk, right ahead.
Yeah. I called Saieed to tell him these bandits in the Murray robbing people. I feel the only thing to stop them is some acid and courage. The hard one, take acid and courage.
I can't relate, I can't. I can't relate. But thank you, thank you. Now, in a statement, Griffith said, we are preparing for the local government election and we have to take note of the judgment. He claimed that judgment was consistent and further proof of the dictatorial nature of the Prime Minister and the PNM government. Griffith added that we have seen this behavior consistently with the government, where they believe they can do what they want, when they want, without any real consequences. He said the Privy Council has been the one barrier against full-blown dictatorship, protecting our democracy and delivering defeats to this government. Referring to comments made by Attorney General Regional Amo about the judgment, Griffith described them as dishonest. He questioned how Amo could try to sell to the public that the government won despite clear facts that they were defeated. It's sad, you know. It's sad. Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Okay, Mr. Saeed, hear this. We are not stupid people in this country. The head of the Security Council of this country is Mr. Keith Rowley.
Correct.
Mr. Keith Rowley have hired one of his ministers of all the rest of ministers, Mr. Fitzgerald Hines, to be the Minister of National Security. So I want you to know, Mr. Saeed, I don't know if you will understand what I am saying, but hear me good. So hear me good. You see the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security and all the people who under them rocking 7.
I'm listening. Go on. I understand. I'm going to tell you something. The head of security, the national security for Trinidad and Tobago, or the Security Council, said, we are not going to turn Trinidad and Tobago into the wild, wild west and approve licensed firearm for every citizen. Head of the Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago. Fitzgerald Hines, on the other hand, the Minister of National Security for Trinidad and Tobago is telling us it is not his job to make the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago feel safe. Whose job is it? If Terence Dialsing holds the portfolio of the health minister, whose job is it to make sure that every citizen in Trinidad and Tobago deserves proper health care or gets proper health care? Whose job is that? Not Terrence's job? It can't be the Minister of Education, because she's dealing with schools, she's dealing with health care. So how the hell, and I will say it again, how the hell could this man, the Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, says to the public, it is not my job to make you feel safe? Whose job is it? Who is the minister? Who is in charge of security? Terence Dialsing? Gatsby Dolly? Faris Al-Rawi? Kamala? Who? Munilal? So who is in charge of the security for Trinidad and Tobago? Nobody other than the Minister of National Security. And this is common sense. Who is responsible for Saeed Studio? Not Saeed? Common sense. Caller, good night.
Saeed, good night. Saeed, sometimes you could just sit down, listen to these fools they have running the country, and just laugh. You know why? Because educated people like us would not swallow their pills. A big age is standing up to talk about they won a case. Where in the news that it was victory for them? You see, their followers and them dunce. So they could dish out, they could put that on a platter and give them and they'll eat all. You understand? So that is why they could sit up there on their throne and drop down those the rice grains, and they will be like fowl picking it up. We have 2 police officers, Saeed, that I heard speak, and I know they are educated people. One they call ASP Smith, Pitt. He does be on a morning program. Yes. And the next one is Corporal Singh. These fellas have intelligence. And you know they're taking somebody that is 60 plus to fight crime in this country that don't have a clue what's going on. They ask for a report. They ask for a simple report. And she is stuttering. And when they ask for the report, in 2 weeks' time. Paul asked him over and over. He had to be specific again for you to give an answer. I hear Corporal sing, and man, the man have the works. What is really the criteria for putting these people as commissioner of police? Is it partisan thing? Is it PNM thing or UNC thing? We had a man, Gary Griffith, there on the ground.
Yes.
Gary taking hot sun side and fighting crime.
Correct.
From the time you are singing for your supper, they will get rid of you at the cost of the murders in the country. You see the quick shop on the Saddle Road?
Yes.
Five of them born in there. Now what it have in the quick shop side? Side they kidnapping children again. A little boy right in Cebu. 2 weeks ago, they tried to kidnap him. Children being abused. What happened? These people not seeing what's going on side, and they have somebody sit down there just waiting to draw their big pension and the little NIS, and they go home and cock up their foot and say, God is love. I did well. I did 100%. Right? And what happened? Murders every day. Right? So this is what we have to endure, because they know what type of people they have out here on the ground, waving the red flag, wearing the red jersey to get a box of food. As election, you're going to see all of them coming out like cockroach to get a box of food, and they're going back and put him right back there because he waiting patiently to have here like how Robinson have it, and I will say it, and I don't care who vexed. Robinson have here just how Rowley had it. Because the times it had coup and people had to loot side.
Yes.
They had to loot them places to get food and milk for the children. People playing their suffering with amnesia side. I could remind some of them will go on. Thank you plenty.
Thank you, my dear. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. We need to stand up. If you don't stand up, bandits will come into your house and make you cook for them while they sit down with their foot on your coffee table, watching your cable and your Netflix. Take what I'm telling you. Kamala, being the leader of the opposition, needs to come to the parliament. Or I should say, the lawyers, the high-ranking lawyers in Trinidad and Tobago, needs to challenge the justice system in redoing the laws and redoing the judgment and redoing the jail time for individuals who break into your house. Hang them high, my director say. Pop their neck in the public. Let me tell you something. The laws that they have in Dubai and Pakistan, if one of those laws come down to Trinidad here, let me tell you something. The entire population of Trinidad and Tobago will start thinking different. They could have hanged Dolcheri and 9 members of his gang. Dolcheri was charged for conspiracy. But they hang him. They hang him. So what about all those murderers that we have in prison signing up for bail? What's going on? What about all the murderers that were already sentenced to life in prison? What about all this? What about the individuals forcefully enter into your home with unlicensed firearm and terrorize your family and steal what belongs to you? When police find you, let me tell you something. It's to gun you down one time. Oh, Saeed, you're inciting violence. When you come in my house, were you thinking this is not your property? Were you thinking that? No, I will gun you down from the time you jump my wall. And this is what lawyers need to come forward with. This is what the justice system in Trinidad and Tobago, all these top-notch lawyers. Now let me pause there. The only thing the judge and the magistrate could do is to hand down the judgment based on evidence. They cannot create the law. They cannot make a law. They're there just to enforce the laws. And a lot of judges just call me and they say, Saeed, all we could do is just enforce the law because this was handed down to us. So all the top-notch lawyers in Trinidad, all the high-ranking police officials need to come together, go to the law lord in England and rewrite it. I does say and will continue saying in Trinidad and Tobago, if you jump my fence, I will kill you stone dead one time. And when the police come, officer, this your property? No, this wasn't his property, but what he doing there around my place, fence round, what he doing inside here? If you could tell me that, lock me up. If you could tell me what he doing there, and I didn't give him permission. My wife I gave him permission. My children I know him. What he doing here? What he doing here? I don't care who vexed, you know, but I work 17 hours a day, 16 hours a day, 15 hours a day to drive a Benz, to drive a Range Rover, to drive a Porsche, to live in a nice house. And you, what's the worst word to call them? A degrading potong. You want to jump my fence? You and your partner, let me tell you something, what all you get take. And then the good mother would come out and say, my son never robbed. How he end up dead in my property? How he end up dead inside my property, inside my compound? How is he dead? Say you shoot him. I didn't tell him jump my fence 2 o'clock in the morning. That's why I just always make this statement. About 6, 7, 8, 9, about 2 years and about 9 months since an attempt kidnapping of my son. 3 blind, 1 dead. And the more people hear about Saeed doing that, it's better for me. I don't care if you're frightened or not, you know. Interfere with my family, I will deal with you in a different way. So when I come here, and you hear me talking, it's to get something done for all you. The one who say, oh, Saeed, you're bashing P&M. When them drinking champagne, you drinking cold coffee. When them eating steak, you eating chicken in the fridge from yesterday or the day after that. Talk now. Well, let's say something. I am for UNC, I am for P&M, you know. I represented Trinidad and Tobago. That is what I represent. And every day I go by, I just thank God that I don't have to ask nobody to fund Real Talk. Otherwise, I'll be off the air from the time I started. So viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, it's a fantastic night tonight. It's the weekend approaching. Remember, our rerun of this program is Monday morning, coming from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And we'll be right back here, God's Spear Life, next week Monday. Until then,